Don't do what you do for the people that tell you who you are. But do what you do and tell the people who you are. Unless the people who are talking to you are telling you that you are not who you thought you were when you didn't feel like you liked who you are. But are you kidding me? We're going to just listen to these simple ways of explaining life, these explanations we like, because then we can try to feel like we have a grasp on life that we don't understand, how we can find a path inside. Back to a place we can hide. But instead of a hideout, we can go drive down to a road that takes us back to a childhood memory. I remember some things. What it meant to be, 6 years old. Out there in the blistering cold with mom and dad to take care of you. Put a coat on your back when you said you wanted to go outside. Just real fast. My friends are here. I can't be late. They're waiting for me. I get it. It's the same old story no matter who's telling it. Too old to be a kid, but too young to know better. You know, whether you want to hear or not, or whether or not you want to hear, wow. I'll tell you this much. My grammar could use a little bit of work. It's short on the month's rent. It's the 3rd of June, 2026. I'm searching soon. I'll just let it stick. This idea I have of being someone who can't fit into society. Yeah, I just don't cut corners. They wanted me to stick around, but I'm just not quite what they ordered. So instead I'll go to where I might feel comfortable. Maybe. Like I'm in a china shop. Breaking things and I won't stop. Sorry. I thought the record was meant to be broken. But for the record, I think we're all just joking ourselves if we think that we can open business up and not expect someone to come in and cause a mess. Stop it and just do something that other people do. I know you like to be unique. I know you like to try to stir up the waters, change what's happening, make people think that you're just a hipster. Is that what it is? What do you call it nowadays? I get it, but you live in the same world that the rest of us do. And I'm just letting you know that they're not going to be letting you through wearing that. Not wearing that. Don't wear that. No. The attitude you have. Smile. Make nice. Be friendly to those that might want to fight you and roll over like a yellow-bellied lizard that could dry up in the sun. Chip off the old block. Call him a graham cracker. Call him a white boy, a rapper. He's an actor. Sorry. Just got scorched by the heat. I can handle it though, so please just take me as I am, even if I feel like I have been beat to the pulp. Nothing left, I guess, but to sulk in the sorrows I've created, in the places that I've just said, hey, I will not be taking a single ounce of encouragement you have. Just because I live in this land doesn't mean I'm free to be me, man. It's the land of the, let's can the happy. Let's see if we can understand that sappy words seem to turn out to be something that bring tears later. I know you miss her, but she ended up in the papers. Yeah. The trail, at least, it landed me back to the understanding of what I once had. Call it a paper trail. One at a time. You pay per trail. Grab your tail and follow the leader, everyone. Just make sure you pay the meter. Parking is well, we won't say those words here. It's a family show, but the fees, you know, land of the... Oh, I get it. What do you get? Just that no matter what it takes, I could always shout out the wind of change. Now, no matter how much I try to, and no matter what page I write, you might try to find a different outlet or avenue, direction that I could have had and do it differently than I did and land your book in the Hall of Fame. Call it the Hall of Shame. Call it a falling game, stacking dominoes. It affects everyone along the way. Isn't that a good thing? Well, it depends. Should we just let everyone make their own choices and see if we can avoid this damnation and destruction that seems to always come? Or should we make some rules, even if it doesn't seem all that fun, to try to follow the leader? Leadership positions, huh? They're the ones that told me to pay the meter after they gave me a ticket for it. So I see your point. Doesn't mean that I agree. I understand things. But that doesn't mean that I live in the society, or I guess maybe I don't fit into the society I live in, and I might just be different than the rest of, well, everyone. The world will tell me who to be, and I'll say, you just need to go take a vacation. See if you can find a place that might actually let you be calm for once, except you don't want to calm down. You like to be so high-strung because it helps you run from all your problems that you don't want to face and address. Just putting a face to an address. This place is a mess, and I understand now who's done it. Oh, shoot. No more hunting, right? I've found it. It was me. All along underneath these identities I'd leave behind each time I'd make a move. I'd take them to the extreme end of pretend. Now listen really closely. What I really mean is I was him, I was that guy, I was a kid, and I was somewhere in between, and I didn't ever know what it could actually mean until I learned, and now I see that it was all just me. I guess I let a lot of people's opinions in at times and find myself underneath a whole pile of things that I guess I had left behind, a shelf of trash cans, and in the back of my van's incinerator when I sent her later in the fall last year to the dump. Somewhere in there I'll just be picking up where I left off, trying to find out who I was, and trying not to cough, clear my throat, make a joke or two, pretend a baby's crying, just to find we all have the same applications nowadays. Implying that we're applying what we are when we're not. It's just, well, it's a place I don't want to be. You know, I mean, let me explain it a little bit, I guess. I just see so many people, and I don't understand what's even left. I Wonder if they know who they really are inside. Because when they say to take a deep dive, like scuba time, get on your gear and see if you can find out what's actually under here. Peel off the layers and see why you changed your whole approach to life to, who was it again? You've had like 6 sense, right? Not 6 senses, but you left your senses and had 6 people you thought you'd let this person you used to be just get dissolved in. Yeah, you like to please them until you said, please. I've heard it all before. And they were on to the next person. Yeah, that's fine. We play our roles in life, you know. We find the things inside if we really take that dive. And a lot of people don't want to go to swimming lessons. Jump straight into the deep end before they know what they're doing, and then they don't know what they're doing. And that can be okay if you are doing the right things and you've got some people and help along the way to get you to a, you know, relatively at least good place. But you know, people try to just dive into things they don't think are gonna really damage any part of them, and then they feel like they're only a part of what they used to be, and when they learn that's what happened, it's usually too late. So just a fragmented version. I told you I'll be searching. It's just a schedule thing, you know. The wrecking yard, I work all day. You could call that a wreck. I've called it that a million times, but what are you gonna do? I'm really asking because it's probably more interesting than what I've got going on. Do you have any suggestions? It's funny because I let this whole pleasing people thing leave me in a place where I don't think I know how to anymore. Not please people, I'm good at that. I don't know if I know how to think. In fact, I lost my own sense of direction when I lost my senses and I let them just be someone else's. Remember what I said, the 6th sense? More like 6th person taking my senses, and now all that's left is a negative soul inside. Wait, 1 to 5. Oh, right. That'd be 6, yeah. Alright, so just, that is a hard one, isn't it? That's why you've been here for, maybe I shouldn't ask, but 12 years? Months is what I thought it was going to be. That's a long time. 12 years. 12 fears are not what's actually left you there, is it? I mean, why? It's just an interest that I've got in wondering what everyone thinks of my life. So I stop when I'm just on the road to recovering from being let down again. Thinking I could just amount to, you know, I mean, 10 times more than I could, because their expectations just seem to keep multiplying by the, well, I could say dozen, but must have been at least that many years. And so all the tears I have had along the way that flowed, sometimes I wonder where they go. Feeling so empty, I could at least fill a cup up with something to drink again and replenish my dehydrated mind state that just let them take from me, I guess. I mean, I just start saying things. Yeah, well, maybe I should. Sure, yeah, well, I don't want to let them down, so, I'll let them up above me and just stay in my seat where they told me to be. And they say to take a stand, too, don't they? Whew, with no one holding my hand, it's, well, there's no way. If only there was someone or something or some way I could be a little bit backed up with some support when I feel like I have toured 10 different kind of options of who I could try to be. Just to be left empty. But, you know, seventh sense. Yeah, I've heard about the word of completion, the number 7. It's just, you know, I think it would be a little bit of a silly thing to finish strong. That's something I don't want to be very good at. So, maybe we stop at 6 and let them know this is just, you know, a life where we don't have to please everyone or anyone at all. But, who's going to take the fall? Even in the wintertime. It's hard, right? It's just confusing. Life just seems to be a whole journey I didn't get the instruction manual fully read about before I landed down on Earth. Now my worth seems to just be a question in my mind. Find a little bit of love inside a friend, and it ends. Right? It's temporary for a time. I sure liked the company, but I would just love to be able to want to be me instead of something for... Well, he was only there for a time. I don't even remember his name. I just needed a friend, and I didn't want to go alone to the game. I didn't want to go to the game, but I had some people who I thought were friends, but they changed, and they just thought I was... Well, it's a shame, I guess, right? That I just don't realize that life is mine to take a handful of the reins. It'd be great for a change in this desertous place. It just feels a little bit dry. I mean, sure, the comedy, but not even that. Just people don't seem to be full of what they lack, and that doesn't even make sense, but I just am not turned upside down nowadays, where I kind of am just waiting for the rains. Just so I can have a handle on things. You've seen them. I know you have. Those people, maybe they act, I guess, I get it. I just wish that, maybe I don't wish, man. What I miss is life when I didn't try. There's so many people that are better than I could ever, well, what, you think they fake it too? But the cars, the makeup, they make it up, huh? They make up a persona like I've done, and maybe they stopped at 7. They're just getting better at this, and it's a progression of fake. I guess I take a better route than them then, even though I feel empty when I don't have 10 things of the 700 that they've got. I guess I'll stop. That's what I told myself last time. The last guy who I thought I'd be as cool as. His haircut cost more than my No, my paycheck. What are you talking about? Why do you say it like that? Maybe you're the one that's starting to act. Trying to just make me feel good now? People pleasing when I'm talking about that's what I don't want to be doing in this season of life when I'm... Alright. So you're serious? No, I just kind of figured that, you know. It's just hard to accept that there's a way back home when I don't feel like you'd even welcome me. That's what happens too. Start trying to speak and I get stutter stepped, and who's gonna take someone like that serious? Walking in the door and, oh, here he is. You don't have anything to bring? Yeah, people pleasing. That's the old me. And then what? They just kick me out of the house and tell me to go right back down. Just when I was starting to feel on the up and up, I gave up and tried to be myself. And well, that didn't work very well. You accept me in their house again? Oh, I doubt it. When? Well, always. I mean, all things through Christ, which strengthens us. I get it, but maybe not me. You know who you're talking to. Please don't. I mean, no. I mean, yeah. Don't. I just did. Really. If I'm not pleasing, then I'll be cheesing. That's a form of it, though. Smiling at things I don't think are actually funny. Something I just learned how to do. Trying to help people feel better than you, right? Isn't that... I guess it isn't. We just get a skewed view on what life should be, and it's real life we're missing. It's hard to understand how we can miss something that we can't have. I just feel like it was almost perfect as a child. Close to it, at least, right? I mean, there was just about not a thing I had to keep a accountability for, or responsibility. Tour your room a bit to see if you can pick up a toy or two, and boy, you're through. The rest of the night you just sit there and snack, go to bed, and when you wake up you're back to it. A blissful life. It didn't seem so at the time, I get it, but just a kid. Still and always. Still in all ways. That's how it feels. That's what they all say. Just hardened. Someone who doesn't even know who they are inside anymore. I get it. I know. Well, you try to be in my shoes. Well, maybe not after I've worn them, huh? They're kind of disgusting. Yeah, now do you see what I'm saying? It's not just the life I'm conveying, it's actually the life I'm trying not to let anyone know is actually real. That's why we're here, having this conversation. You know, how much am I paying? Therapy session. Man, what was I expecting? This is the third one this week? Golly. You booked completely? No wonder. Everyone was leaving my life and telling me I would never get a wife or even something close to that. My goldfish died, probably just so we didn't have to listen to me rant all the time. It's hard. Hey, but at least you're here, you know. I probably don't appreciate that as much as I should, though. Yeah, I don't know. I've heard what they've said. Kind of depends on which one we're listening to, though. All the different opinions. Have you ever seen those bingo games and they've got the balls in a cage and they just rattle around in your head? The opinions of other people, if that's what you let take control. So I don't know. You want me to go back home? You want me to just see if they'll let me be me? I told you, I stutter. I stutter step every time I get back to where I know I don't belong, or so I thought. I wasn't accepted, just rejected, like a person that needs some help mentally. I mentioned things and they said, go to a... Here I am, right? I came, and thanks. I mean, even if you get paid, it's at least nice to have someone listen for time. Something I try not to look at because it moves so fast when I'd like the days to stay, and doesn't seem to go anywhere when I'm scared it'll never change. So, I know, it's kind of just what we do. It's something you could call the human existence, the human conditions. We've got conditions in life, and isn't that just hard? And, well, I could charge myself with first-degree craziness because... First things first, I'm crazy just trying to expect my life to change without taking the steps to do it in the first place. I don't know. I mean, I've seen some things I don't want to say that I believe, but I honestly couldn't deny some miracles in life. No matter what you think I'm trying to say to you, I couldn't make it up. So if I just wait, what do they say? Patience, it's a virtue. Search and things will hurt you, except if you're searching through the Word of God. I know. It's nice to know you've got a similar understanding to me, at least, on things in life. I have a hard time. It's a clash, right? Trying to find people that, well, like I said, I don't need to believe. I just can't seem to fit into society. I know that God says, I get it. The strange and peculiar people. I just know I sure do. I sure know. I know. It's hard to be strange and peculiar. It's hard, and I know I've just got to go through some things. I got to thumb through it. I must do it. Just go back to who I was, even though it gets me tripped up. Strange and peculiar. It's strange to be doing your same kind of approach to life that you had as a kid when you're like as old as this. Seek and you will find. Oh man, the age that I'm currently sitting at, they called me an old soul when I was just getting back after the summer after 3rd grade. Sure. Tell me it all tanks. when I get older, then why would I want to age? It's fun being a kid, I guess. I just always remember waiting until I was older. So, kind of makes me wonder a little bit what it would have been like if I just stayed at this young little age that I was. Guess we'll never know. But, you know, I don't really have any kind of option besides moving forth down the road. So, what are your tips? Any suggestions? I know you get a lot of questions. You've got a lot of clients, don't you? I guess the time's almost up on the... No, we've got about a lunch break left. It's kind of how I scheduled my life for a time. I just didn't feel like I had time that was mine, really, except for the time that they said I could go, but maybe don't leave, because if we need you, we'll have you on call or on leave. It feels like the same thing, because I'll be calling in, please, can I come back to work? I don't know who I am without it, and if I get a break, then they'll call me in and say, no, we said we'd give you a break, but I just, well, you know how it gets. So I came back in and had some work to do. But, what are you going to do without a paycheck, right? When I was a kid, though, I didn't know how much anything cost. I didn't know, I just saw that they reached inside the purse or their wallet and they dropped some paper into the hand of the person that would hand us the thing that we were searching inside the toy store for hours to find. It was a different life. Kind of. I guess my mind went from wanting to be pleased all the time to saying, please, can we find a middle ground in life, and I'll stoop below to do it. That's rough. So it was tough, but I let myself go, and now I know that a version of me that I could be might come close, but nothing will ever get back to who I was when I was home as a child, just waiting for dinner to be made. Not even really caring all that much what it was, but I knew I could probably just make a fuss and have them change it to what I love. Sugary snacks, though. I'll tell you, I can't go back home, can I? It's been too long. So many responsibilities. I was a supervise the managers on top of the whole company. Manage the supervisors or something. I can't tell you how many things I tried. All the ventures I'd find myself inside a different role and look inside the mirror and see if I could spend 4 more hours cleaning it. Just try to set a good example to see if I could see clearer in the piece of glass. To find if I was more than that. It wasn't even broken like I am. Find a can of super glue and find myself driving back to the store because there wasn't enough there to put the pieces back together of the broken parts of me, I guess, if that's what we think we want to be calling what was left when people stopped calling because they just found something better than who I was or who I wasn't that they thought they want. Well, anyway, it's a bigger place than I'd like to try to sort through. As a kid, I just had my games, and I had like 2 because it's all we could afford at the time. But now I own some companies that own companies, and I own something we call a lie. Pretending I am who I show people I am, and it's not what's inside, so I just don't know. Can I get back to what it was like as a kid? Well, it depends on what classifies it as a childhood when this whole life we've got a lot of things to learn. All right. So, you're telling me we all just take our turn? From birth to death. The worst gets best. At the start? But it's more of what's in our heart. It's more unconditional. To a degree, it's to a degree. I just used to talk about things more as a kid. The conditional love it seems to be expanding, and I can't be quite who I was without people expecting me to be someone that they claimed they could love. And as a kid, I was just, well, if you asked me, I'd probably say a superhero or something. I wanted to be what I saw in the movies and thought I could, and so I'd be doing all these jumps off the couches after I watched the latest whatever you want to call it, because now it's all just like a reflection of my life. I didn't understand when I was a kid. I didn't get it. I didn't understand that all the superheroes died. At least who they were before they got the powers that made them what everyone else likes. And the real them wasn't even there inside. I don't know. I just don't know if it's worth it. I don't know. I get it. All right, that's what you've been telling me. It's 3 times this week, you said, huh? Last week? Man. Week after week, I'm weak in the knees. I've been trying to be what I could be to please the people who said they'd like it, and they didn't fully. A smile or two, a laugh, a wink, a grin, and back to trying to find out how I could fix the act when maybe it didn't play out the way it could have. So, how do I go back? How do I? That's the point, huh? Take off the mask. All right. Well, I told you about the glue, to put the pieces back together. That's something that I used to paint my face on. Whether it worked, I fixed my grammar since the start of this, at least. I just wanted them to think I was better than I was. So now it's kind of like a painful process to remove what I have caused. Call it whatever you want. I call it all in, and I will hunt for 18 more than this. Episode 18 just starting. In the Image Clothing Company music. Evan Strong. Is he? Well, I didn't say Evan's Strong. It's his last name. But if he can get back to who he was before he took his last name and changed it to maybe only as much as they can handle. Evan Strong was too much for him. So, just like when you paint your toes, it's that acetone, the nail polish remover. Got some removing to do on who I thought I was, and I lost the receipt, but I'll still return to who was under there before I paid for all the things I added on top. It's a marketing scheme. It's just a game they play. They say you gotta be better and make a whole bunch of payments along the way. It's a longer road, though, than not leaving home. So if I can feel content, oh, I will. Yeah, it's easier when you're not trying to kill all the authenticity you were sent with. To purchase anything, and it gets expensive to try to just be anything they want you to be, except this person that's... You sure he's still down there? Man, if I was piled on top of that many things, I think I'd... sink. You know, we were talking earlier about the acceptance that each time I go back home, right? And I don't like the looks I get and the expectations that leave me pleasing people with things I don't mean to be, but don't know quite how or what else to be. Anyway, they're not going to accept me unless I'm anything except me, I think, right? I maybe think wrong sometimes, trying to trust my head more than my heart. I tear myself apart. Cliche, classic. It's a hat trick of explanations when we get back to 3. All the winds of change. It's just a way to explain that things change. Like the winds, it's great to always come back to a calm day. So, if we can come back, and maybe not always, but try to revisit that kid that just got swept under the rug and give him a hug. Let him know he's loved. Even if it wasn't by those that he tried so hard to please. Is hard. Please don't be trying that much to be something different than who we see. Underneath everything that you could add or remove everything you added to who you are and get back to the kid who deserves a little bit of attention, I guess. So, I guess. No, he does. Oh, alright. Listen, can I just, well, it's, story I read. I know. The prodigal son. Prodigal. Well, it just means what it means, but he returned putting myself in those shoes, though, I don't really want to. Just like to keep things clean, right? And they've been outside all night, and well, really what I'm saying is I couldn't imagine myself being like that person that they take in. Just accept it. I mean, that's what I mean. It's accept this neglect that seems to follow me around. I don't know what else I can amount to, because I'm not what or who they expect me to be. Unless I'm neglecting me. If I neglect myself, though, I don't have anything else to show for my effort that I've claimed I put in, and they don't get what I've really done inside of this soul I came with. And that's what I mean, is it changes. When you're a kid, you can just explain that I'm only 4 years old. And as you get older, you get, they say it should be wiser, and that's why I'm sure I'm not at the mark they expect me to be. But what if they just stop expecting things? That's probably the best option, right? If let's say they live a simpler life. Why not just, how about I don't do it? I'll just stay here and not be moving from the place I've learned how to. It's the glue again, isn't it? It's just that I feel stuck. Well, I mean, you do this for that long and you don't even know what it was like as a kid. What do they mean, grow up? Well, I get it. I've told other people to. But what I'm expecting is for people to just understand that they need to let you be you. When they tell me to grow up, they say, go, do anything else but what you've been doing as a kid. Well, how's that gonna help? Everyone loves the children, and then they get so upset at you when you don't stop being one. Just a child. That's what they say, right? He's just a child. And they don't play by the rules that are mild, so I guess we all grow up just to become tough. It is, too. Looking at the world is tough. Accepting that it is what it is, and it's not a better place than they claimed. Get your own money, get your own way to get around, get your own town, and now go find a person to settle down with. Settle down, kid. That's what they always told me. Now I get it. They wanted me to just be the old me. But, meaning the older age of the version of who I was when I was told and made. Sit back down again. I mean, get back to the old me. How do I get there unless I'm told to be something besides who I was in my youth? You could call that the old me, but how much wisdom is there when the time's not? But then one day the time stops, kind of. You know, for the life you have, you die. Man, it's harsh, right? It's just something we can't escape. The end of days. So how do I get back to the old me when I haven't become that version yet, and I want to get back to who I was, and I don't know what they expect, if they're expecting me to get to a... Isn't there two sides to everything? You tell me to go back to the old me, and I don't know what you're expecting. I haven't been there yet. If you're talking about age and I can't go back to a kid, you think I can change how tall I am? I couldn't even see over the counter. They were making snacks and I didn't know what to expect until it was done. It was like a surprise. Now I'm surprised that people think that I'm so childish when I just try to live a youthful life. Get back to the old you, they say. Why? You didn't even know who I was in that life. What's ironic about it is every time I try, they tell me to grow up. Oh, the old me. Be more specific. You probably would have thought it was cute if I was a kid and I said Pacific. But now I say one thing wrong and you just say, look, I've been looking around for grammar books and I think you should get this. Because you don't get this, do you? The English language is strange, just trying to please everyone. I don't even know all those people. That's a lot. But I could try, I guess, if that's all I do with my life, or at least what's left of it. I'm kind of running out of time here. That's what they don't warn you about. Alright, they did. I just didn't want to hear it. They said so. Yeah, they said just, how about you don't get any older? You're cute like that. And now they try to tell me to go back. Is that really what they mean? The old me? But then they'd scold me for doing things that I should know better about. They say, grow up, and I don't know what they want, and it's got me caught in between. Well, my hand at least, in both sides of the opening to the cookie jar. They say to grow up. Stop making so many jokes. Stop deflecting and neglecting all your pain with the sense of humor you gained along the way. But I didn't know what anyone wants. As a kid, and I don't know what they want in this stage of life I'm in, and if I'm the old and wise one with the wisdom, will they listen again? Like they did when I was in my old age. They told me things like, I love it when you tell me all these random stories about your toys. And now I talk, and listening sometimes isn't even an option that they want to claim. They have a choice to choose to do depending on who. And I get it. We don't have to have everyone be let into our life. But I remember when I was just a kid and everyone wanted to know what I did, coming into the room so excited about something I tried just the first time that I'll never get back. Back in my old age, or in my old ways. I don't know if maybe when I get into my older age, I'll go into some old ways again, but they always tell you not to go back when you've made so many improvements. I don't know what to do with this. Life, it's... mine, they tell me, make what you want of it, except for that. When I choose to get back to who I was as a kid, I just wanted to sit and enjoy the warm weather outside. Winter came and I'd hide and not really know what to do with my time, so while I had it, I'd try to stay out past my bedtime's curfew to see if I could search through the blades of grass like I'm doing now. Wonder out of which one of the insects the one will be the most fast. Racing through the big old long blades, to them at least. To me it seemed like a whole game I had for free. I didn't want anything. I still don't. Kind of forgot I was in therapy. And that you're listening to me. It's probably good you've got a comfy couch, huh? You just fall asleep during the stories the clients tell you. You listen back to it later. And then when next week's session comes, you give them the advice based on what you heard after the time they actually said it, because it's a lot to hear. It's a lot, and we're just kind of in between, I guess. The first of the week and, well, the session that comes next. But thanks for listening, I guess. I just would like my friends to let me rant about what it would be like to be an ant. You've got a colony. You're all doing things to help the better good of your family. But ants are always beneath everything bigger than them. I guess there's always pluses and minuses and things we might just wish are different. But you know, I don't understand still. I feel like I'm at a standstill with my life. I don't know what it means to be who I was. Back in my old ways. They tell me I'll get wiser and I'll sit on a porch one day and talk to my grandkids, have a lot of things to say, but I just remember which is good because I didn't for years. What it was like when there was no one around with ears to take what I had to say and have an opinion of it and make me feel like I needed to change to please what they told me I should be. As if there was another version of me that didn't seem to actually exist, but I didn't know how else to approach it. So I just tried to mold him like clay. Basically, I could say some things, and it's therapy. You kind of have to listen, unless you really tell me to leave. I'm here so I can speak. But I never cared who listened before. I never cared. I just sat on the floor. And the trucks were almost alive. It's like they had their own people inside. I'd just grab it with my hands, pretending to drive. I'd launch them off a pillow. I don't know. I'm not sure. If I can ever be that kid again, quite the same. I was a different age. If nothing else, I was just a younger version of me, But I had a lot less things I needed to think about. Day to day, house to house, things would change and I'd get out of control. But all of a sudden it was different because I wasn't just a kid. I want to be a kid again. Please. They didn't get upset with me for doing things. Not permanently. Now people have their own opinions and leave. Back then it was about 10 minutes and they'd come back and it would be that unconditional love I said before just seemed to be so much easier for the kids when love was what they put importance on more. Then the image and the status and all the hopes of getting back to it just seemed to be in the past when they charged forward so fast in life. And they'll talk to you about how you're behind, tell you to get back to the old you, and why? You just told me to get on your level. Well, the old me, I guess. Wisdom gained along the way. I'm just not sure which end I'm trying to get back to on this route that I've chosen to take. I guess I chose it, right? I don't know if I'm getting older and wiser or younger and my wisdom's leaving me, or maybe I used to be more wise when I was just a kid until I turned to a teen and started to think I could do the things the cool kids did to be accepted in the I never wanted to be a part of those groups anyway. Not really. I wanted to do it because the other people wanted to do it. I just told you I'm here for a reason, and I mean in this therapy session. There's a lot of people out there that need pleasing, and if I decide it's my responsibility to do, and I know it isn't. I know it isn't. But I know how it feels to be let down. I know how it feels. And that's how it started in the first place, really. I didn't want them to feel what I... Well, I didn't have a choice. Not having a choice led to taking my voice and... You know those padlocks? It's like I just caged it up for a while. Back in my old ways, though. You know, I was so loud, I could have been used for the fire alarm. That's why they always told me to cool down, though. Anyway, I just, feel like you might need a therapist too, yeah? All the best jobs in the world have someone who's got a better job, and they just seem to never end. Things you can do, the heights you can reach, and I wasn't very tall when I was the old me, right? I depends on what end of life, except for those people that find themselves like 3 inches shorter than they were yesteryear. Oh, shoot. So you're telling me it's on the other end too? Anyway. How much do I owe you? Because as a kid, someone else would take care of all this. But trying to get back to the old me, I guess I better learn what it means to be accepted again. But I can't pretend that the people that were around me always accepted what I did or who I was. I was just a kid, and they just want you to grow up anyway, so I guess it was no different when I was just a little boy. We get older and bigger, and so do our toys. Really. 18 and older to buy these. 21 and older, and you might need a co-signer, but it might be the best decision of your life until you get in financial problems and wish that you could hide the way you did as a kid behind your mom and her legs were like a forest instead of the trees that you see in the way in current day. Meaning just a place you could hide behind, a place that you could find that life was more than it seemed when you're looking at the forest instead of trees. And now you're an older version of the old you, the old me, doing everything they told me not to. They said I'd amount to, well, look where I am. Did I do it just to live up to it? Maybe. You think so? That's what it means. Out here to people please. Out here to be what they want you to be. They told you you'd be nothing besides the things you are. If you decide you'd move your car because someone told you you parked in the spot they wanted when it wasn't even reserved. You either be yourself or you be the version of you that doesn't exist. And well, that's not a possibility, and so that's why it hurts the way that it does, because you're not the person you were or was and is not that. So it, yeah. That's how I sound when I try to explain it to him. Told you I get stutter-stepped. Like I'm running up to it, and I don't know which foot comes next. I don't know which step which way do I take? I can't escape adulthood. Take it back to the old me. Get in my time machine and see how wise I do become. See if there's two of younger version of me. One at the start and one at the end of things. Because if I start ending these patterns of behavior I've created along the way, I can get back to the person I was when I came, maybe by the time I leave. When do you retire? 3 days a week for 34 more years? How close do you think we'll be then? To the old me. That's, yeah. I'm just trying to get back. That'd be nice. So the parable, something about a son who was off doing his own thing for a while, and he returned, but living in denial that he wouldn't be accepted if he did. He came back and he was just nothing but praised for doing so. Call it the old me. Call it whatever you want. Because I'm learning, right, that I don't have to be anything but who I was. So, from today forth, the 3rd of June, 2026, I will move to a place that I knew pretty well. A place that became something that felt like jail. So I moved to a different place to try to sail my ship across the seas and landed in a place that means that I can never leave. Jail's not as bad as prison, and I'm prison to, oh, well, everyone's expectations if I let them be something that makes me take this version of myself and change it. And that's always for the worse. Being yourself, you can just be that without any help and no understudy or need to rehearse. You didn't write the verse, you are the verse, you are the first, you're back to that version of you, it's the old me. But if you're trying to be something that they want you to be, you read the lines, you try to find if they will hire a person without the type of experience they'd like to have on the subject that they can make up and it doesn't even actually exist, and then you can just maybe make the part for them to pick you apart the whole time and make you feel like you didn't even want to do it in the first place when you didn't. You forgot who you were. From jail to prison. Spent a night or two uncomfortable about some people who thought that you should be something different than who you were. And get back to who you are. Or spend the rest of your life in a prison you'd like to leave but find comfortable for a time. Little do you know, unless you go outside the doors and leave the place, you'll be stuck inside a gate without the keys. On the other side of things, they'll be dangling them in your face, expecting them to be anything else besides the people who decide for you to be what they will make, and they will make you fake. Will make you feel crazed. So don't expect anything else besides being able to be you, because anything else that could help, well, it's not true. God made you. He made the version of you that's the version of you, and you are the version that, well, who else could be? You only talk about one thing if you're talking about one thing, and I'm talking about the old me. Lost him, though. Like a child in a grocery store. Yelling so loud your throat gets sore. Trying to find the kid you left behind. He doesn't seem to hear you. It's pretty clear, too. his earplugs in, wondering what he could get himself into this week. Something new, I think, popped up over there, and so I don't care who I was before. I'll take a tour of the new place and see if I can make other people believe that that's me for a week. Just to change again. Maybe. I mean, I might be staying. Well, I guess not. Not anywhere besides this prison of places that change every time you knock. Asking for help, and you don't know what else could come out of that door. You've seen so many things every different time. You've tried to find out why you changed in the first place. All these unreliable things you try to bring into your life to be someone that seems like someone people could be proud of. Now you've just left yourself behind and felt alone when you've been trying to find out why you don't have the ability to please everyone you see. So, why don't you just come back home? Yeah, back to your old age, your old ways, your old self. Let's your younger version of, well, it's the real you. You're not that guy anymore. I don't see it in what you're trying to be when you look at people's expectations and even take them into consideration. It doesn't matter. Turn the other cheek. Turn some other things. Not yourself, into anything else. Go and, well, I don't know. You ever been home? It's not a trick question, but it's just, right? That's the only place you'll find who you are inside. Searching with a fine-tooth comb. You like to do it, though, so you think it's what you've decided you're good at. But it's a prison. It's a place that isn't actually free. They feed you things. They let you speak. But no one hears a thing. What I mean is you're not hearing who you used to be if you're not who you've seen. Looking back through those books of photographs as a child, I know. That's not how you get them to like you, though. When you were a kid, a lot of people like you and a lot of people don't. So, even though it's hard, I just challenge you, if you will, if it's a challenge you can try as hard as you can to fulfill. That's what I mean. It's a backward thing. Just stop trying and be who you were before a teen. It's kind of just that age, you know. Get back to the old ways, you go through this whole journey of place you don't actually remember experiencing. So many new experiences, you didn't really hear a thing. And that's what I mean. You were in prison and nobody hears. The crashing sounds before that tree just hits the ground, and all of a sudden you're just laying there dormant. Like a tree, not looking at the forest of things. It's just that as a kid, it was about every other day you'd hit a big old low and get brought back up again. The next day, the next afternoon, or 5 minutes later when someone brings you an ice cream cone. And then you got old, or at least, and you started to think you always needed to be happy. As a kid, being happy is something you didn't really think that you can be ever having as your choice. Because nobody gave you one. That's your old ways. Do you get it? You don't need to change. You just need to go back to things as they were. And are. And always will be. Sound familiar? Yesterday, today, forever. The truth, the same, Jesus Christ. How do you enter the kingdom of heaven? You take it back to your old ways. In your old age, sure, yeah, but back to the old age when you were 4. It's, God's outside of time. And I'm about out of my block for your session today, so maybe just kind of let go. Don't rely on me. But 3 times a week, I know that's been working pretty great, so we'll see how long you need. But that's not something that gets decided by me. So don't feel obligated, don't feel stuck, don't feel like you can't know what right from wrong is. Because on this journey of life, you've got a person you can call on that might not give you the same response as I do. I get it. You like coming here, and I do too. I like it when you come and I get to help you out with whatever it is. It's my job description. That's why I chose this profession. But I'm not a professional. Well, don't let them fool you when you look at the certificate I got. I just know quite a bit about it, but God, He knows it all. So next time you feel like you are going to fall, you hit a wall, you don't know where to go next, I suggest just turning upward, turning inward, turning a new leaf over back to what was underneath, if you can see what I mean. Back to the old you, the old ways that you had, and don't change, just go back. I'm glad. Yeah, it was good for me too. I have a few moments where I remember why I started doing this. Even when it gets hard and I look at the list of people that need my help, I get some help from people like you. Yeah, I know I helped you, but you helped me too. You did. It's one of those things where we're both human beings. There's a little bit of a symbiotic nature to it. So, do your homework, and that's the same thing that I'll be doing. Let's get back to the old ways.